All right, well, navigating the real estate market in these uncertain economic times can certainly be challenging, especially if you're unprepared. And if you're downsizing your home, well, you could be making mistakes that are costing you money and even potentially some emotional hardship. So joining us now for some tips on downsizing is downsizing expert Adam Gordon. Adam, good to talk to you this morning.
Thanks, Nick.
You must see some really interesting things in your line of work when it comes to people, moving out of their homes or maybe moving elderly parents out into smaller places here. But there are some real things you need to keep in mind in terms of what to do and not to do. Where would you like to start? With the do's or the don'ts? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think one is the opposite of the other. So one of the ones that I think we like to start with is don't hire a real estate agent first. Like, don't think about selling your house first.
Okay.
The reason of that is we get calls every day from people, and we're a real estate brokerage ourselves. But the first step they want to do is they kind of want to sell their house out from under themselves. They haven't thought about where they're going. They haven't thought about what they're going to take. They haven't thought about what their family and friends situations are. And it's really important not to create a burning platform under yourself that doesn't help you make a thoughtful decision about the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life.
Yeah, you really set the clock ticking as soon as you get your house on the market, right? And if suddenly you sell, which a lot of people, obviously that's what you want to do quickly, suddenly the clock is really ticking, and I suppose that's when mistakes get made.
That's right. Like, lots of people will end up putting a bunch of their stuff in storage or throwing it out. Both of those decisions can lead to anywhere from tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in waste by not making the right decisions around those things. So having someone who knows how to handle those things can be really important.
So what should you do then?
So in our experience, although we're a real estate brokerage, what you should be trying to do is solve all the other problems first. So some of those will be thinking about what paperwork should I have in place before I even think about downsizing? Have I got a will? Have I got my POA set up? We're talking about the largest transfer of wealth in history. If people's documents aren't updated, making a big move can have health impacts that they may not foresee, and that can create other problems for family and friends and whatnot. So we'd say start with that.
Okay, POA, power of attorney, right? Just to be clear for people who may not
absolutely.
speak in
So
acronyms.
who's going to look after you if something, unfortunately happens where you can't look after yourself?
So when it comes to making that decision, let's say you're in the position, you've sold your house, Adam, and now you realize, okay, we're going from 2,500 square feet to 1,500 or 1,000 square feet. Then you've got to start making those decisions. What do I keep? What do I get rid of? How do you get around to the sorting and the organization of that?
Yeah, so making the decision around where you're going to go is obviously the first nice big step. Once you figure that out, knowing what you have helps you figure out what things that will fit in that new space. And you want to be thinking about, what do I really care about? Are there things that I care about that my family might want that I can't keep anymore? And then what am I going to do with the extra stuff? And so having a company that can help you with that, it's usually a project that when we meet some families, they've already spent a year or two trying to solve that problem. We typically solve it every day for people, so it's pretty natural for us. And we started over 60 years ago as an auction house. So knowing how to handle those things is an important part of the solution.
I bet that can get emotional.
Yeah, so that's right. Lots of people end up holding on to things longer than they should. That's where the storage problem comes in. For those that are okay to let go, the nice thing about some of the things we've built over the past, one of them's a company called MaxSold, it actually creates a digital catalog of everything that you've ever owned. So anything you do sell, there's actually a listing of all of those things, almost like a yearbook or a catalog of all of your possessions.
Is it easy, Adam, to sort of sell and get rid of unwanted things, but they may still have value?
The biggest challenge is actually knowing what's what. So we've had clients who think that these are my valuable things, I want to sell those through an auction. This stuff I want you to throw it or donate. Well, that's kind of when you can run into those stories where you hear about someone finding a $10,000 item at a Goodwill, is because someone who didn't know what they were doing with items they should donate or give away or sell or whatnot. And so our company has not just people that handle goods and sell goods, but appraisers. So we understand which items are valuable, which aren't, and we can help identify things that you might think aren't worth very much that absolutely should go in the auction if you're not going to keep it yourself.
So in 60 years of business, Adam, you must have some examples that come to mind of products or items that were someone was like, I did not realize I was sitting on this, or this was sitting in my basement.
Yeah, so we had a situation just last year where there was a painting that our team identified. It was hanging on the wall. It was a painting. The family knew that, but they didn't know how valuable a painting it was until we kind of did the research and identified a space where it should go, and it ended up selling for over $17,000.
Oh. That is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
All right, Adam Gordon, listen, appreciate the time. Thanks for these tips. I think that can help a lot of people. I mean, as interest rates are dropping now too, maybe more and more people are even thinking about moving. So this is some crucial stuff.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much. Good to meet you. Okay, appreciate this.